And we are back, everyone. You guys, I am so excited. I'm so excited, you guys. I've been trying to get this busy girl on the podcast for some time now. But her name is Kyra Jones. You guys, she's so special. She's a badass screenwriter, a badass activist, a badass actor, and she was my badass pole student back in the day, right?
Yes, that's how we met.
Yes.
Working on the pole.
Twerking for that cash. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't get no cash. I was giving them cash to let me twerk on the pole.
True.
I learned a lot, and Kimbo was an amazing teacher. So glad to have met her, even though I am extremely out of shape now. So,
girl, we just talked about that. So, you guys, this is Kyra Jones. Okay, I'm gonna let her introduce herself, but I did say everything. You're a badass actor, screenwriter. I mean, literally activist. You know, she's out here for the people. But you guys, this is Kyra. Say hi, boo boo.
Hey everybody, I am in fact Kyra. I use she, her pronouns. I am a multi-hyphenate, I suppose, artist, and I'm currently a writer on the ABC show Queens with Brandy and Eve, and I recently rapped in the writer's room for the Hulu show Woke, and I have acted in some things. I was on what shows have I been
Chicago
on?
Justice, right?
Yes, which no longer exists. I just got a $7.13 residual check for that.
Yes, so, come on now.
Balling out of control. I was on the series finale of Empire that was not supposed to be the series finale of Empire.
Yes, that's right. Oh my God, yes. And you said it wasn't supposed to be?
No, it was the last episode that they could shoot before Corona shut everything down. And so it was supposed to be like not the second to last, but like the third to last episode. They're supposed to do 2 more and they just like couldn't. And so they like hodgepodge together. Yes. They like hodgepodge together what they had, like what they'd shot, and tried to make a finale. But if you watch it, it's the most chaotic episode of television. It's not their fault. It's really not their fault.
I'm fucking done with Empire, guys. You have no idea, guys, because I used to fucking be on this show as like a stand-in and background actor for years. Okay. So this is the ghetto, and I did not know this, girl. Thank you for telling me that, T.
Yeah.
What a hot mess. What a hot fucking mess.
Bad for them because I hadn't been watching the show in a while, but from what I heard from people who were watching the last season, they're like, actually, it got better again. Like people
did it.
Yeah, like the writing got better. And so it probably had like a stronger send-off planned, and just the pandemic fucked them over.
Wow.
So I have a lot of empathy for that, but I look cute regardless of how chaotic that episode is. So
hey, listen, I'm not mad. You know,
and
I
got to meet Taraji,
who is a doll baby. She's so sweet.
And smells so good. So good.
Like amazing. Like she just like she pisses excellence. No, I'm just playing.
she does. I was so starstruck, but I like could not. You can't be starstruck when you are on set. Like you got to be professional. So I just kind of was like, I'll just leave you alone. So girl, I don't like start crying.
So I had a moment like that too on Empire because I was standing in for fucking Tisha Campbell Martin from Gina from Martin.
Yes.
So I stand her so hard. So when I was her stand-in, I literally was like I was like the most embarrassing person because I was just like in awe of her and just like really shy around her. And she was just kind of like, she knew it too. She was just like, oh God, here we go. This stand-in is a fan, you know? And I was just like, I fucking love you. Oh my God. Yeah. So I get that so bad. But yeah, Kyra, I'm just so happy that you agreed to be on the show, girl. Right now, currently she's in Chicago, but she's, going to be going to Atlanta soon and possibly LA. So I wanted to grab her before she just like left Chicago, and who knows what like amazing show she'd be writing or being on in the future. So thank you, Kyra. I just can't wait to hear about your story.
Oh, thank you. And I will be coming back and forth to Chicago even once I relocate to LA. I just love this city so much.
Yay!
I would stay here if it wasn't like kind of almost mandatory for me to go out to LA at this point. But still am planning to do lots of work here. I'm going to be shooting my feature here. So yeah, I'm not abandoning Chicago, but also very glad to be on the show for I have to be in a gazillion different states.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm happy to hear that because I was really sad when I'm like, oh, she's leaving Chicago. I want her to bring work here. I want her to like, add to the like, shows here in Chicago. So
yeah. The annoying thing is that, and this might be changing with post-pandemic life. It's just so up in the air right now. But even if shows film in Chicago or film in Atlanta or film wherever outside of LA, the writers' rooms have always historically still been in Los Angeles, which like doesn't make any sense because they're like, why would you want the writers to be so far away from where the show is actually being shot? It's just one of those things that the only explanation is like, well, this is how it's always been.
Okay.
But right now, a lot of, if not most, writers' rooms are still remote because of the pandemic, and there are some advantages to that. Like, for example, the fact that people like me who are not located in Los Angeles or maybe cannot relocate to Los Angeles because it's one of the most expensive cities in the country, are getting the opportunity to be in writers' rooms, whereas they could not before.
That's exciting.
And it saves the studios money. They don't have to get office space, but there are disadvantages. Like, I've never met my coworkers. It's kind of hard to connect with them and build real relationships because we are in different parts of the world. I think it's especially hard sometimes for comedy rooms because like, you're really feeding off of the energy and riffing off each other and joking, and that's hard to do over Zoom. So there are pros and cons to the Zoom thing, but I don't know if it's going to disappear completely. Okay. I don't think it will. So I think that there may be more opportunities for people in Chicago to be a part of writers' rooms without having to abandon the city.
I love that. Thank you for letting us know that because, I know probably a lot of people out there that are listening, they're like wondering in the sense of like, so let's go on to that, right? You currently are writing on the show Queens, which is on what, ABC?
Mm-hmm,
ABC, featuring what, Eve, who else is on the show?
Brandy, Notori Naughton, and Nadine Velasquez are the four core characters. They play a hip-hop group from the late 90s called the Nasty Bitches, who break up and fast forward 20 years when they're wives and moms and doing things outside of the music industry. They get a surprise opportunity to reunite. It's very like second chances, women empowerment, focusing on Black and brown women, and like amazing music. Swiss Beats is the executive music producer. It's not like no, I can't say no shade. Empire had fun music, but it was very corny. It was super corny.
That shit was corny as fuck. Come on now.
And whereas like our music was actually really good. Like you can listen to
Brandy, like one of the best vocalists out there. Yes. Like, come on now.
And like just the quality of the lyricists that we have writing the music for us, like all the music sounds like stuff that could be on the radio today, and you wouldn't think like, okay, this was definitely written like for a TV show, which is what I felt like when I was listening to music from Empire or Star was the other show.
Yep.
So it's been a really super fun show to be on, and there's also a bunch of really fun guest stars. Like we already have Cameron, Jadakiss is going to be on an episode. I think Wyclef Jean is also going to be on an episode. So lots of great music industry cameos too.
Just lots of like Black excellence all over, up and in there, all up in it.
Very much created and show run by a Black man named Zahir McGee. He is a Shondaland alum. He wrote for Scandal, and Private Practice, and For the People. So he knows his shit. It's been really amazing working with a Black showrunner. That's not unfortunately a very common situation in the industry. Hopefully it is changing. But
well, that's why you're here, Kyra. I mean, yes, you're making the wave. So you're on Queens now, and then you were on the show, you were writing on the show Woke that was on Hulu, right? Can you tell us about that too?
Yes. So Woke is in its second season. I wrote for the second season, which we actually don't have a premiere date for the second season yet. Hulu has not given us one, but
come on, Hulu. Really. Give us what we want.
Listen, I think from what I've heard, a lot of the shows on streaming are like still figuring out when they're going to premiere, because shows that were supposed to premiere in 2020 got pushed back, and so then they have to reschedule. Whatever, it's very complicated. Back to woke. If you haven't seen the show, it is starring Lamorne from New Girl, who played Winston, and T. Murph, who's also another Chicago person, a local Chicago comedian who I actually did a Wingstop commercial with before.
Random.
We're working on woke. And it's also got, oh my gosh, why is her name escaping me right now?
Because of cannabis. It happens to me all the
time.
We love her.
God, whatever. Anyway, it's a really funny show about a cartoonist named Keith Knight, who's played by Lamorne, who has really been distancing himself from his Black identity. He's one of those like, I'm not Black, I'm OJ type motherfucker.
Oh my God.
Like he's a successful cartoonist, but he doesn't want to be pigeonholed to writing or cartooning about Black issues. So he's distanced himself from that. And then he gets assaulted by a police officer, and the trauma from that causes him to hallucinate, and inanimate objects in his life that he sees in his life come to life and start like kind of pushing him to become woke. And
interesting.
It's a really cool premise. It's loosely based off the cartoons by Keith Knight, who is a really renowned cartoonist from the Bay Area. And he's been in the room writing with us. He's one of the creators, and the other co-creator is Marshall Todd, who was one of the writers of Barbershop. So it's a fun room. Everyone in the room was Black except for our showrunner. Hi, Anthony. Who's my favorite white man. Anthony
You're cool,
King.
Anthony.
He's very cool. You. We love Anthony. If they're gonna have a white man run that show, they definitely chose the right one. But like,
you know what? It's always nice to have, an ally white in the,
yes.
They okay, right?
Very much that. But it was just very magical to have my first writer's room be an all Black room.
Amazing.
Like I've heard so many stories from Black writers where they were plopped on some white ass multicam sitcom where they were the token Black person, and everyone either didn't listen to them or negated their ideas or rewrote them so I was like, this is like setting the tone for the rest of my career. And it did, because the next thing I got to write was Queens, another Black show. And so I hope that continues.
Yes, it sounds like it will. Like, it sounds like it definitely will. Well, okay. I love hearing the progression and like from like going from woke to Queens. It's like, so now can you tell the people like, what's your background and like how you started into this industry, right? Like we know you write and then you're an actor, but how did you get started? Did you go to school? Like, did you go to college? Did you do musicals?
I did go to college. I did not do musicals. I can't sing. I went to white people Catholic church, so I don't know how to sing.
But you've done theater though. You've done theater.
I did theater, but not musical theater.
But not musicals.
Don't ask me to sing. You will regret it. And I will regret it. But yes, I went to school. I went to Northwestern. I studied theater. So I wanted to be an actor, and I didn't have any real intention to write, at least for the first couple of years that I was at Northwestern. But I was one of 4 Black people in my theater class at Northwestern, and that's out of 100. 100.
Oh, my girl.
So it's bad. Like, not to say that their experience is not valid, but I talked to a lot of Black theater graduates from other schools where they're like, I was only 1 of 4 in my class. I'm like, of how many? And they're like, 20. I'm like, shut the fuck up. That's a quarter. 25%. I had 4%. Don't ever talk to me about that shit again.
I'm done. She said I had 4 people out of 100.
There's more Black people in my house. Okay, straight up. Okay. But because of that, it very much impacted my experience in that department, and I did not have a lot of the white allies that I have now. I think I experienced a lot of racism.
At college?
Mm-hmm. Particularly in the theater department. I mean,
really?
All of Northwestern's got white supremacy issues. All of academia's got white supremacy issues.
Girl.
But in the theater department, it was the worst.
Oh my God.
And I felt like sometimes being an actor was like being an afterthought. Like if you are an actor, you don't really get much agency in the storytelling of whatever you're working on. You are the last person to be selected as part of the ensemble. You are at the mercy of whatever the screenwriter has already decided, whatever the director wants you to do. You can try to make artistic choices to make a role feel more genuine or less stereotypical or whatever it is if you're an actor of color or actor of another marginalized identities, but there's literally only so much you can do. And I decided that I wanted more agency. I was like, okay, I want to be there for the genesis of the story and not once it's already like pretty much solidified. So that's what inspired me to start writing. I think a lot of people assume, because you're an actor that got into writing, it's because you wanted to write your own roles and you weren't getting cast. I'm like, that's not it.
But what if you do? You know, it's like,
I mean, that's fine. But I mean, I think I have feelings about that, but we'll get into that later. But like, if that's what people want to do, then that's fine. But that wasn't it for me. I was like, I don't want anybody to have to play these shitty roles. It's not just me looking out for myself.
This is some bullshit.
This is all some bullshit. I don't want any Black woman to be playing Aunt Jemima. Like,
oh my God. Girl.
So I figured out that I probably should have been a film major like my senior year, and it was too late to switch because it's my senior year. So what I did was try to take as many film classes as I could that last year. I took the screenwriting class, and then I graduated and kept taking classes at places like Second City. But I felt like I was really behind because I didn't figure out that this was what I wanted to be doing the same time that my other classmates did, and they were able to get internships at production companies or studios or whatever and get a foot in the door. Like some of the people I graduated with, Z-Way has her own show on Showtime.
Wait, you went to school with her?
Yeah, we were friends in school.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I love Z-Way.
Another one of my friends, Alana Pena, she is the creator and showrunner of a Disney Plus show called Diary of a Future President. So like people I
heard that. Yeah,
they're doing really big things. So like
you were they started. Kyra?
Let me finish. But they got started early. They knew they wanted to do comedy, they wanted to do film, whatever. Like from the jump. So when I graduated was like, I feel like I don't have a way into television writing. I don't know how to get in. And so I was like, let me just stick to acting. But then I started to audition for like a lot of indie projects here in Chicago. Chicago has a fantastic independent film scene, particularly independent web series and digital series scene. And so I did a couple of web series that were created by Black and brown queer people of color. Most notably, I did a series called Seeds that's on OTV. And I remember getting onto that set and being like, wow, I've never been on a set where almost the whole crew looked like me. And we're telling these stories, like funny stories about Black women my age. And I was like, well, if these people can do it, then I think I can do it too. And so that inspired me to write my web series, The Right Swipe, which is also on OTV. So shout out to Seeds for connecting me with that community. And they have been such a huge source of support and community for me and really getting my confidence and my career off the ground. So I did The Right Swipe, which is a web series about two friends who start a business where they fix men's dating profiles, but then they end up fucking up their own love lives in the process. So that we shot 2 episodes of that because web series are extremely expensive to produce, and we could not afford any more than 2 episodes. And no one really warned us how expensive it is, especially if you want your web series to look good. So we did 2 episodes of that, and it did really well on the festival circuit. And I think everybody, when they make a web series, they think that they're going to be the next Issa Rae. They're like, my web series is going to blow up, and I'm going to have networks calling me trying to buy the series. And then all of a sudden I'm going to be on HBO with an 8-figure overall deal like Issa Rae is. And ain't nobody Issa Rae, okay? Like, no, only Issa Rae is Issa Rae. And so I really was like, yes, like this is such a good web series. And I will say it is a better web series than most of the shit out there. But that doesn't mean anything. Everyone has a web series. It's so hard to like, there's not one path to breaking in, but I will say if you're making a web series, temper your expectations. It probably will not blow up the way you think it will. But I'm just sitting there after we're done making the web series, like, okay, so like managers and agents are just gonna be like beating down my door. Ain't nothing happened. I mean, I can't say nothing happened. I did get to make some really fantastic connections, particularly through OTV and the relationships that they have. But like, my life did not change overnight. But what did change but it eventually did change overnight, but not because of that. We'll get to that. So then, but what the Right Swipe, I think the most important thing that the Right Swipe did, in addition to giving me experience and networking and festival laurels, it really solidified that television writing is what I wanted to be doing. So I was like, okay, let me write a full-length half-hour TV pilot for the first time. So I wrote my pilot, which is called Good Vibes Only, and it's set in a Black-owned feminist sex shop, which does not exist in real life, but I in my fantasies, that's what I would like to see. So I was like, let me create the world, even if it's fictional. Yes. And I started submitting it to some script competitions, and I was like, well, I have all this. Script competitions cost money. They shouldn't cost as much as they do, but it can be very cost prohibitive. But during the pandemic, I was like working from home. I was not going out and spending money on no Akira or
no, she did not. Akira, girl, you love some Akira, girl.
I do love Akira. That's what I'm gonna miss the most about Chicago. I think it's Akira. But I was like, I have all this. I've been saving money because I don't have to spend nothing. Like I will put it toward these competitions, and the script did really well in competitions. It placed in, I want to say like 11. It won a couple, and then a feature that I wrote also won a couple of things. And even then I was like, okay, great. I've been doing so well in these competitions. I even won one. These managers and agents about to start knocking on my door. No, did nothing, not even a tap. And so I was like, all right, I don't know what to do next. But I signed up for one more thing, which was there's a site called Coverfly, and it's where you can sign up and make a profile and host your scripts up there. The industry folks like agents, managers, studios can find you, contact you, download your samples, but also you can submit to competitions through it. And they have a lot of like writer development resources. They help connect writers with representation or with studios or television shows that can staff them, all that kind of thing. And they have something that they do twice a year called Coverfly Pitch Week. And during Coverfly Pitch Week, you can submit. It's actually free, which is really wonderful. You can submit, and all you have to do is have a Coverfly profile with at least one script on it. And they choose, I think, like around 125 people to participate. And if you're chosen to participate, then they give these execs and reps who are also participating the list of all of the writers, and they get to choose, who they want to meet with, and they'll set everybody up with like 20-ish minute meetings. Yeah, it's like a networking thing.
Okay.
So it's kind of almost like speed dating a little bit.
But for writing.
But for writers.
Cool.
And I've done similar things like it before. Like there's other programs that also will set you up with like mini meetings with folks in the industry. But every time I've done it, it just like wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. Like they would either like match you with an exec who like doesn't actually fit what you're trying to write, like, or they would be like, you choose who you want to meet with. There was this one that I used to do, I think it was called Hollywood Here, which is specific for Black writers. And when they would do when they would have their networking opportunities, they would just give a long list of the execs that are participating. And it was like the Hunger Games. They're like, at this time, you get to choose the exec that you want, and you better rush because it's like you have to get to the person you want before somebody else does. Mm-hmm. And if somebody else gets it, then you don't get that slot. You got to find someone else. So then you might end up with somebody that you didn't even want to meet with, who like, you might be a horror writer and the person you're meeting with is like at Nick Jr. Like, what the fuck are you supposed to do with that? So I was not expecting anything from Cover Fly Pitch Week because other things I'd done had been like so meh.
Okay.
But I had 4 really amazing meetings, but one of the meetings that I had was with one of the execs that from one of the companies that produces Woke. She was really fantastic. Another white ally. We had such a great time talking that she was like, I need to talk to you for more than 20 minutes. Like, let's continue this chat. We talked for like over an hour. And she was telling me that like kind of what the process of staffing looks like, and particularly for writers of color, writers of marginalized identities, what it looks like for them to try to find those folks and what the obstacles are, what they're trying to do better. And she just, as an example, not even really suggesting it to me, but as an example, brought up Woke. She said that Woke was having a really hard time finding the last staff writer for their new season because they were really looking for a queer Black woman, and just like there's just not that many.
Wow.
And so I was like, okay, that's interesting to learn all that. We ended our chat, and then like an hour later, she emails me and she's like, hey, actually, are you interested in being staffed on Woke? Because
I'm not.
I mean, I might not be, you know. But she was like, if you are, I can send your script to the showrunner. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I like did not expect to hear anything back, because if there are any writers listening, they know so much of, and even actors, so much of your time is spent like putting your all into an audition or into a script and like sending it into the abyss and then never hearing about it ever again.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, sure, send it to the showrunner. I don't care.
Right.
And then like the next day she emails me and she's like, they really loved your script. They want to meet with you, and it's going to be really.
Wait, which script was this, Kyra?
Good Vibes Only.
Okay, Good Vibes Only. Okay.
The same one that I had one of those competitions with. Actually, the only television pilot I have.
What about Go to Body?
That's a feature.
Okay.
They don't send features out for TV shows.
Okay, got you.
You got to have a TV sample for TV.
Got you.
For anyone who's interested. But so she was like, and also with Go to the Body, it's a very depressing movie. It's not a comedy, so it would be a very bad sample.
Like, here you go.
Comedy. Yeah, have fun crying. But they were like, they want to meet with you, and they want to do it, and they have to do it really soon because they're moving really quickly. And I was like, okay. She didn't tell me what quickly meant. I found out the hard way. So they called me and they're like, yeah, we need to meet with you tomorrow, which was a Thursday, because the room starts on Monday.
Damn.
So I'm like, okay. And I'm still working full time. I had a real ass job. I was the assistant director of Northwestern University's Sexual Health and Violence Resource Center. So a real job where I had to like do real
responsibilities.
Stuff.
Yeah, you have people. Yeah,
people I got to take care of. And I was like, oh shit. And so I had the meeting and it went really well. And then an hour after the meeting, they were like, yeah, they want to offer you the job. So like get a lawyer right now so that they can look over your contract for you. We about to send it. I have no fucking entertainment lawyer. I had no entertainment lawyer. I had no manager. I had no agent, like at least literary manager agent, which is like completely different, separate from acting stuff. And so I had to call my uncle, who is a retired public defender. And I was like, Uncle Tony, do you know entertainment lawyer? And he was like, I got you. I will die. He like negotiated my contract for me. I have to pay him nothing, which is great. I just sent him some whiskey, and I had to like figure out how to like scramble to figure out what to do about my job. I was gonna take a leave of absence, but I needed my health insurance still. Girl. So I was working both jobs. I was in the writer's room and working in Northwestern at the same time. And then all of a sudden I went from having zero managers or agents interested in me, like been like trying, like knocking on the door, like, hello, I have the script. Nobody gave a fuck. And then I suddenly went to having 19 offers from
yes.
So that was the most stressful month of my life.
How long ago was that?
It was
March this year?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay.
Because it was like I was working my job in Northwestern. I was figuring out what the fuck a writer's room was while I was in it.
Wow.
And then I was taking like 2 to 3 meetings a day with managers and agents, and they were getting extremely aggressive because they knew that they had competition. Like, cause so they were like
fighting over you, girl.
They really were. They were, some of them I had to be like, I literally emailed them like, back the fuck off, like you are being inappropriate. Yes, but I mean, it's nice to be wanted, but I was so stressed, and it was really hard because it like everyone's reaction was what your reaction is right now. They're like, yes. I'm like, no, I am sick. Like I'm physically ill because I like don't have any free time. And like, there was also nobody that I could go to for advice because nobody I knew, even the successful television writers that I know, they didn't get like this volume of interest at one moment. They didn't, get staffed the way I got staffed.
It's overwhelming. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
And for your life to literally change over the course.
Oh yeah.
Like completely change in like a couple days. So
it's like you ask, but it's like, are you ready for what the world and the universe is going to give you? Like to receive it. Are you ready to receive it? So,
I mean, I made myself ready, I guess, but
yeah, but that's your story, which is beautiful. You got it, literally like you're sitting here today, you know what I'm saying? Like a writer on TV, you know what I mean? What you like, and that literally was what you wanted in your life. And now you're doing it, you manifested it, it happened. And, it's possible. And that's why I really wanted you on the show, Kyra, because I really wanted not only to hear your full story, but to give people hope too. But then also this is your story, right? This is just how your life, your journey ended up. That doesn't necessarily mean it has to happen to everyone that way. Cause it didn't. Like you said, you had Z-Way, your friend, got her own show a different way. And this, everyone has their own path, And so I just think that it's so beautiful for you to be so humble in a sense of saying, hey, this didn't just fall. Like I worked hard, right? Like I went to school, I studied, I did what I had to do. But you found a path to get there. What I feel like in the sense of like, people always sit there and they're like, okay, like you said, like, when are people going to come knock at my door? When am I going to get those emails flooding in? But at the same time, you're like, yeah, but that's just not real. That's not everybody's take. And that's not realistic. Right.
And even what happened to me is like, it's never happened to anybody else. Like I remember going to the, like when I was meeting with the agents and managers and stuff, I asked them, I was like, do you have any clients that like got staffed the same way I have? And there was this one woman I met with who was a veteran in the industry. She's, been around. She's been around for a while. And she was like, in like the 35 years I have been a manager, I have never seen anyone get staffed the way you did. Which is, yeah. So but I also preface that to say, because I think I am so humbled that so many people feel inspired by my story, but a lot of them are like, okay, I'm just gonna do exactly what she did, right? And get the same result. And I'm like, you won't. Like even when after I got staffed, I went back to cover flight because during pitch week they want you to tell them if how your meetings went, and like for them a successful meeting is just the exec you met with wanting a follow-up or wanting to read your script or like whatever it is. And so I went back to them. I was like, I got staffed, and they were like, "What the
yes.
fuck?" They were like, yes. What? But they were like so shook. And then they were like, "This has never happened before." And basically, I'm like their mascot now. I'm like their biggest success story.
They put your face
ever.
on a fucking like mural.
I actually am on their website. You go on Coverfly.
Yes, Kyra, sickening.
So like that's not even normal for Coverfly.
But you know what though? But that's just because. And I literally always, I remember like writing on your like Facebook wall one day, like, girl, you should be a writer. You're like, bitch, I'm already like a ghostwriter, you know? Because I just, the way you guys, Kyra's tweets, the way, like what she posts on like her Facebook page, like everything she writes, it's so like funny and like creative and innovative, you know, like that. It's unique to you. And I always knew, I'm like, this girl, like, she needs to stop playing. She's a writer, like for sure. I like knew it. And it was one of those things where I knew in a sense of like where you were meant to be, you know? So the universe just made it happen. And I feel like, wouldn't you say though too? Because the thing is, like, I'm a true believer in manifestation. Like 100,000%. I don't know if you are, Kyra, but manifesting works. It really does, guys. It fucking works. But you know, if you put intention and you put you know, like everything that you have in you, and that could just be like it, just even your soul is like seeking some sort of like path in life or journey, you know, and like all that intention is there. Truly, magically, I feel like the universe and God will just kind of like bring that to you, and then it come in different ways. Your way was this way, super unique, never been done before, amazingness.
Yes, the manifesting conversation is so interesting to me because like I hear so many people say that to me, like, you manifested it, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like,
you don't think so?
I think it depends on what your definition of manifestation is, because I see a lot of people think that tweeting something, being like, I will have $1 million the next week, is I am manifesting it. And I'm like, bitch, that's not how that works. But if you're like intentional, like the word that you use, if you are intentional, like, I have a goal that I want to get to, I believe that I can get there, these are the steps that I'm going to take to set myself up for success, then yes, I manifested it that way. But if you think I just spoke it into the universe that I will be a television writer and then did nothing to make that happen, right? If that's your definition of manifesting, then I'm not what the fuck I did.
Girl, yes. I if we gotta be specific, y'all, and say that, well, then I guess don't just like say something and then just lay on your ass. You gotta work. It takes work. And that's what you were doing though, Kyra. You were working. You were constantly, like you said yourself, you were working full time, right? Grown woman job. But instead of going shopping like a Kyra, you know what I'm saying? You took that money and you submitted it. That's work. That's intention. That's manifesting, but that's also putting that intention there too. It has to follow. It has to. I'm just so damn proud of you, girl. I'm so damn proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you too.
Girl, you know what? I think that, honestly, I think that if we're in 2021 and we're happy, right? Because it's hard now. There's a lot of people unhappy. If we're happy and then we're putting intention to the goals we want and our career we want, and we're like just happy doing that and making that happen, then that's a success, and truly, like, you're inspiring. Your story's inspiring because not only that, but you worked really hard, Kyra. You worked super hard. No one can say that you didn't work hard. You did. And you put time and effort into something, right? I mean, like, I always saw you. This girl was always working. Every time I would see her post something, it was about the right swipe, go to body, she has seed. Like, there was always something you were doing. Always.
I had so many fucking jobs. Oh my God. Because like on top of working full time,
you're Caribbean? Auditioning. It's your Caribbean side?
It is. It's the West Indian. I always had at least 3 jobs. Even when I was working full time, and before that, I was the typical artist that was like hodgepodging together income, like waiting tables, being a princess at children's birthday parties.
I remember that.
And shit, like working at multiple different restaurants. But even when I was working full time, I was still auditioning. I was still producing independent films. It just was like a constant grind. It takes so much work to independently produce. Like, I think people do not anticipate how much work it is. It's like, especially if you're going to crowdfund, it's just, you constantly pushing and hyping up your stuff. You did donate. Like, it's reaching out to people. It's coming up with different incentives to get them to donate, different marketing techniques and stuff. And so it's really a full-time job on top of a full-time job that I already had. And so I because things shifted for me so fast, like, I will say, like, not that I was an overnight success, but like the change was actually overnight. Sometimes I do forget how much work I put in to get to where I am. So it's really always a good, it's always a good reminder when I get to talk to people like you and you tell me, oh no, you were grinding for a long time.
Girl, you don't even remember, but girl, remember when we went to that audition for Empire together?
Oh, I remember
that shit.
Oh, I remember.
I've known you back in the day, you know, like so there was Empire, this was like season 2 or something, I think. I can't remember.
Yes, I think so.
Something
but
like
yes,
that.
I had found, this is before I had signed with my agents here in Chicago, Stewart Talent. Actually, the day I signed with my agent.
Is it really?
Yes, because remember I was late because I was meeting with Stewart.
Oh my God, yeah.
And so they signed me right before I got there. They actually told me to botch the audition.
Yes, I remember that because you didn't actually do it. I remember.
So I did do it, but they were like, I did it, but they told me to dance badly.
Got you. Okay.
But I was like, but what happened, how we got there was that I was trying to find background actor work just to get some experience being on set. And I kept looking for casting calls for Empire, and they had a casting call for people who could pole dance. And I was like,
pole dancers. Hey.
And I also sent the casting call to Diana, who owns Stiletto Dance Studios. And I was like, hey, they're looking for pole dancers. So I think she sent it to you. And
that's how I got into it. Yeah.
Yes. And so we all went together, like maybe 4 or 5 of us. We all went and auditioned. And then Kimbo got cast as a background actor.
Fucking what was it, like a artist or some bullshit, which was, girl, I remember that. It was just
how you got
popping bottles and shit. It was so random.
Yeah, because I remember they only had Black women at the audition with us. But then when I watched the episode, they cast a white bitch. So
they casted those 2 twins. There was like twin Latinas, I think. Because they could ride each other, they could do the surfboard.
I was like,
girl.
They said that they like lined us up, and they were like, you're cast as strippers. The rest of you, we like your look. You can be background actors, except you, Kyra, because you just signed with the agent. You shouldn't do that. But I was like, okay. I was expecting to see those 2 chocolatey girls when I watched the episode, and they was not there.
No,
I was like, y'all segregated these auditions. What the fuck? Because I did not see those 2 girls.
I didn't see them either. They weren't even there. I was like, what the fuck? I think they came, I don't know if they came before or after us, but yeah, I remember it was like 2 Latinas that were like twins, but they got it because they were like doing they were doing like surfboards and stuff on them and stuff. So yeah.
Do you remember they didn't even give us a real pole? They gave us a pipe
they did
that
not.
They found like on the lot somewhere.
Girl, it was a pipe, bitch. It was a pipe. I remember
Some girl
that
fell
shit.
off of it.
Yes, because it wasn't a real pole. I remember that shit. It was the weirdest feeling. Like just a fucking pipe pole in the middle of the room, and then there was like these execs like standing in it, like they were sitting in their chairs around us, and you were just
all
like,
dudes,
walking
of
there.
Course, all dudes.
It was so weird, and then like you just like walk in there on the cement floor. Anyways, what an experience! But remember that though, Kyra, like I seriously like remember us like going out and like, you know, just like young and, you know, just having fun, and then to see this now, it's so amazing, and I'm just so fucking proud of you. You're like doing it. You're doing it, girl. I'm just so proud.
It does feel like that was a million years ago, but it really wasn't.
Right? It's like what a few years ago. I mean,
yeah, I guess
whatever,
like
7 years ago.
Probably like 22, so like 6-ish, 7-ish years
ago.
But like
that's crazy, girl. Time is flying. Oh my god,
it is just getting closer and closer to death.
Girl, okay. Put your macabre ass.
I know. See, that's another thing. Marijuana makes me think about death a lot. So I don't know, but when I get high, I'm just like, bitch, you don't know what's gonna happen after you die.
Girl,
I don't know what it is every single time. I get death anxiety. Ooh. You gotta help me figure out what strain.
I gotta get you some good weed, girl. I'm with some better strains, because girl, I mean, it makes you smart as fuck. It makes you think. You know, I didn't create and all that shit, but girl, being dark like that, I don't know what the fuck you smoking.
I don't know. Death, nigga. I feel like it's
called death.
With a few different, because like sometimes I have my friends weed, and they obviously have different weed than me, and I'm like, why am I thinking about death at this party and just be in the corner like,
No, Kyra. Oh my God. Well, you know what? Don't worry. I'm gonna get you some good. I'm gonna get you some good cannabis. You have no worries there. So,
thank you.
but no, I am so excited for that. Thank you for sharing that. But do you have some time to take a break, and then we're gonna come back? I'm gonna ask you the meditate, masturbate, medicate portion.
Yes.
All right, guys. We'll be right back. And we are back, everyone. You know what it's time for? It's time for meditate, masturbate, or medicate. Kyra, what do you choose to chat about today?
Masturbate.
Sick. You know what? This is why I love you, girl, because I feel like a handful of people are like scared to like go with masturbate, and I knew your ass was going to choose masturbate.
I mean, I was a sex educator for like 8 years,
right?
So, and my whole pilot, the reason that I am here, writing for TV shows, is because I wrote a pilot about the female orgasm.
Sickening.
So I'm not afraid to talk about masturbation whatsoever. In fact, I probably talk about it too much. I probably make people uncomfortable. But
it's the perfect show for you to be on. It's the perfect show.
It also got me a job, multiple jobs. So
yes. Okay, so masturbate. So that was a really nice segue into that. So you said you were a sex educator for 8 years. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I started in college as a peer educator. I was a member of a group called SHAPE, which stands for Sexual Health and Assault Peer Educators. So for people who aren't familiar with how peer education works, it's, if you're speaking to a particular group of people, so high schoolers or college students, you have people who are their age and who are their classmates, talking to them, who are educated on these topics, talking to them, because sometimes it can be really daunting or can make you feel really uncomfortable to talk to somebody who feels like an authority figure. But when you're just like speaking, it feels like you're talking to a friend, and research has shown that it can actually be much more effective. Okay. So I was a peer educator. Was one of those students slinging condoms all around campus, and we do workshops for different student groups. I was also president of a group called Sex Week for 2 of my 4 years at Northwestern. And so all that work that I was doing on campus, it was through the office called CARE, where I used to work right before I got staffed on Woke. And so because I was so involved with them, after I graduated, there was a position that opened up, and they asked me to come back and apply. And I got hired, and I stuck around and got promoted to assistant director. So I was there for,
so that's how you got your job at Northwestern. Okay.
Yes. So cumulatively, if you count the 4 years I was undergrad and 4 years I was a staff member at CARE, it's 8 years. So.
Wow, girlfriend. Yes. So yeah, she is not shy when it comes to sex. Okay, so what are you doing for the female orgasm nowadays? What's your masturbation, self-care techniques right now?
Oh man, I invested in some toys during the pandemic. Like I said, saved some money up, and I was like, let me go get the good toys, because when you buy the cheap ones, they break, or like they can be made of materials that like fuck up your pH and that kind of thing. So like you do need to invest. It'll be worth it, because the toys probably work better, feel better. But I'd suggest investing in toys from Feminist inclusive sex shops like Early to Bed or the Pleasure Chest. If you're in Chicago, actually, is the Pleasure Chest still here? I think
it is.
There's 2 of them, and one of them closed during the pandemic. The big one closed.
Really?
I think the smaller one is still here. Yes.
Oh, I love the Pleasure Chest.
I know, but there's still the smaller one. Okay. And then there's other places, other feminist sex shops in other states, like the Smitten Kitten in Minneapolis and the Tool Shed in Milwaukee. So you can also browse their websites and order from them. And they're also like small businesses. All of them are women owned. And so if you can do that, try to buy from them instead of places like Amazon. But also, like, if you can only afford Amazon, there's, get it how you need to get it, because I think that everybody deserves to have toys. And I know so many people that have been frustrated with trying to figure out how to masturbate with just their hands and it just doesn't work. And like, it is okay if you need a toy. And most people, I can't say most people, but a lot of people don't know what the statistic is about that. But don't feel ashamed if you can't do it manually, or if you can't, even with a partner, you need a toy. Like, that's extremely common.
Now, thank you for that. You're like putting us on to all the places we can buy these. So thank you. What about the toy you're using currently? What is it?
I have a couple of toys. Okay.
Is there like special names?
I can't remember the name. I might have the box still, actually. Let me see. Because like if you buy a toy from some of these shops, they have warranties. That's another good reason to buy from these shops. But they're like, you need to keep the box in order to have the warranty. Yes,
so she's like, let me not. Okay. I don't care how long it is. I'm gonna keep this damn box.
I don't even know how the fuck you say this word. It's like Noi. It's like N and that little Noji.
Oh, is that like a German thing? Like a
it seems like it, yeah, because it's got that that got the little two dots over it.
Right, like Uber. Like Uber.
I don't, yeah. But it's like the Noji quiver.
Ooh, so is that one that you insert in you, or is it just a coral? Or
no, it's more external, like for your clitoris, or it could work on a penis as well, like whatever you have, whatever your parts are. It's not really vaginal,
okay,
and so definitely don't put it on your butt. Yeah, it's just like for some people, like a specific spot is like if you need to really pinpoint a specific spot on your body, rather than with like I have one of those magic wands, and like it's got a really big head and it's really powerful, and if it'll stimulate a wider area. For some people that's too intense, like they just want like, this one little spot here is what gets me off. So this is a good toy for that, because it's got a really small head, and so you can like pinpoint exactly where you want.
I've never seen one like that looks like small, like that, like a little like...
Yeah. There's like another similar one that they sell early to bed, but I like this one a lot. I have the classic magic wand, and I've just been using that one as a back massager. I don't know, I don't love that one as much. That's the one that everybody like raves about, like that's the OG. But I'm like, for a lot of people that can just be like too intense.
Right.
I will say finding the right sex toy can be kind of like dating a little bit, because what is a great toy for one person may not be the best toy for somebody else, which is annoying because you cannot return them. So like,
right, can you imagine? I tried this. It didn't work. Can I return this? Like,
yeah. So definitely do as much research as you can before you make a purchase. And that's another great reason to go to a place like Early to Bed, because their staff is really well trained and knowledgeable, and a lot of them have tried the toys before themselves, so they can give you really good recommendations, and they'll ask you the right questions so that you can figure out what toy might be the right for you. And then I have it's kind of just basically a classic rabbit situation.
There you go.
And
ooh, that's pretty.
This one is the most expensive one I've ever got, it because it's like thrusts by itself. It's called from Fun Factory, the Stronic Surf.
Guys, if you're watching the visuals, that's going to be on YouTube. You can see all the toys that Kyra's holding in her hand.
Oh God, and this one is an internal toy. It's got ridges, and
but it thrusts, like it goes like
yeah.
Oh
yeah,
it's doing the work.
It's like and it's hands free, so like your hands can be doing other things.
It's doing the work, y'all. This thing's thrusting.
It's really expensive though. Like I like this toy.
How much is that?
It was at least $150, if not more.
It's worth it for your clitoris and your pussy, so whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I like it, but if I don't know if I would have spent this much on it. No, like I don't know. It for me is not 100% worth the price, but it's a good toy.
Okay.
But I think because of the technology, however the fuck they make it magically thrust itself, it's more expensive.
She got a collection, y'all. I love Kyra. Look at this bitch. She's like pulling toys out of every part of her apartment.
Those are all my toys, minus the magic wand, which is just somewhere. But like I have CBD lube, since we're talking about Medicate.
Yes.
It's from Bella, the CBD infused water-based lube. Yes.
CBD infused water-based lube. Sickening. Okay. Wait, did you say Foria?
No, this is Bella.
Oh, Bella. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So I got all these things that I just mentioned at Early to Bed. It's my favorite shop.
Okay.
They also do workshops. Like they used to come to my students. So I started advising the student group that I was a part of in college when I was working at CARE. And so when we were training them, because they have to go through a 40-hour training before they can be released to give condoms to their peers.
That's so funny.
And so a part of their training, we would talk about sex toys and pleasure. And so people from Early to Bed would come and give them a little workshop. So
I love
you could
that.
also use them as an educational resource.
Cute. Well, you guys, take your pick. I mean, she gave us all sorts of different toys and places, which I'll put the link in the show notes, guys, so that you can check out the places that Kyra listed. And then you can get some sex toys, because who doesn't need a thrusting dildo? Who doesn't need that?
Some people might not need it because some people might not like that sensation.
I'm actually one of those people. I use a crystal wand. Do you know that? Like I'm a crystal healer. So mine is all crystal, and it's like the color of a jade. It's aventurine, so it's like green.
Wow, okay.
But I have such a relationship with my crystal wand. But that's me and my crystal wand. Like it gives me what I need. It doesn't vibrate. It's not made of any sort of plastic or harmful material for my pussy. You know, it's made from stone, so it's all natural, and it makes my pussy happy. So
find what makes your pussy happy, or whatever type of genitals that you have. That's another thing that Early to Bed is extremely inclusive, and they also have toys that are specific for trans bodies. They also have like gender affirming gear. So if you need packers or harnesses or chest binders, that kind of thing, they have that there as well. So for all your sex and gender affirming needs, Early to Bed is such a great resource. I'm just like a commercial for them right now, I guess.
But you know what, girl, you better sell it, okay? You better
get a sponsorship, okay? They can pay me in sex toys.
Sponsored by Early to Bed. Not just play. Thanks, Kyra. No, seriously, those are all great tips. And you guys, if you see the visuals, you'll see all the toys that she was like, especially the first one was like it has like a little nipple thingy on it. It was like cute. I keep like flicking my finger.
Also, don't mind my face. Normally I'm cuter than this, but
oh, don't do that. Look at
I didn't put makeup on. I was like really deep in. I was writing a script and I was like, and then all of a sudden
you were working.
I was working, and I haven't gotten a fade. I gotta go to mellow, and I need to get my eyebrows done. But just
I'm actually kind of upset that you look this beautiful with no makeup on and no eyebrows done and no fade. So shut up, okay? This is her not trying, and she's gorgeous. So whatever.
I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for that. Seriously, Kyra, you've been like phenomenal. It's been your story is so inspirational. I'm so damn proud. You know, we were just actually talking about when we were on break how we realized that we went to like New Orleans together, me and her back in the day. If we went to Essence, our first Essence, it was your first Essence Fest, right?
Yes, it was.
We went to our first Essence Fest together. Like we saw Janet Jackson. That was iconic, you know, like. And I'm just so excited and so eager to see what you have next coming. Like, are you working on any projects right now that you want to talk about, or like give us little sneak peeks on? Or
sure. Mostly I'm a hype Queens. Please watch Queens. We just aired our 4th episode, and we need all the support that we can get. It's just network TV is dying. And so everyone's all up on streaming, and so luckily we are also on Hulu. So if you don't have live TV like most people don't, I had to buy a antenna in order to watch my own.
No, you did not.
But if you don't have live TV, it's on Hulu the next day. So airs live on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Central on ABC, and then is available to stream the next day on Hulu. And then I have independent film that Kim has mentioned a couple times, Go to the Body, which I am also going to be directing, which is really crazy.
Yay, Kyra! You're gonna start. It's already filmed though, or do you wait?
No. We shot. What we shot was what we call a proof of concept.
Okay.
So we shot a few scenes from the film, because indie film fundraising is extremely difficult. And so it can be helpful to have like sizzle reel or a short form version of the project to show potential investors or talent that you're trying to go out to or whatever. Like, this is what the film is going to look like. Especially if you're a newer director, you can show like, hey, I made this look good. I promise I'm gonna make you look good too. So like people can have more confidence in you. And so because I'm a Black queer woman, there's a higher hill for me to climb. And also I wanted to make sure that I really could direct it. So we crowdfunded during 2020. And Kim donated.
I did
for the proof of concept. Won a couple of grants for that, and then we shot like 4 scenes from the feature and cut it into a trailer. But we have not shot the full film, and the actors that you see in the proof of concept won't be necessarily, at least in the roles that they're in the full feature. So right now we're in the process of fundraising for that. But if you want to watch the proof of concept trailer, that is available on our website, gotothebody.com.
I'll put them in the show notes, so we can have that in there. Yeah, for sure.
Yes. But we're right now in the process of putting together a cast with like real celebrity actors in it.
That's exciting. And you're gonna direct it, girl. Shit, that's fucking sickening.
Yeah, we do have our one of our leads cast, which I don't know if I can say who or not yet.
You want to?
I don't know if I can. Okay. But it's somebody well known. So
that's amazing.
I'm extremely excited about it. And then next we go to begging old white men for money.
I'm done.
So that's what's going on with me. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, that's pretty much it. Queens and Go to the Body. And at some point, Hulu will tell us when Woke Season 2 will be on air. But if you want to get ready for when that drops, you can watch Season 1, which is already available on Hulu.
That's so exciting. Oh my God, guys. And then do you have like an Instagram or anything that we can like find you and like stalk you on? So yeah.
I do have an Instagram and a Twitter. My Instagram handle is just my name, Kyra, Kyra.A.Jones. And then I was more ratchet with my Twitter handle. And my Twitter handle is Black Ass Feminist, BLK Ass Feminist, all one word. So if you want to, you can follow me on either of those platforms and keep up with what I'm doing there.
Wonderful. Oh my God, Kyra, sickening. Well, I have a quote of the day for you that I chose specifically for you in this episode and for sharing everything you shared today. So the quote of the day is, if there's a book that you want to read, but it hasn't been written yet, then you must write it. And that's by Toni Morrison. Hey, there we go.
That's a great quote. I don't know if I'll be writing no books, but I feel like that's very.
Why not, girl? You write movies.
I don't even be reading books like that.
I can see you writing a book.
Audiobooks. I have a thing about, I don't know what it is about books and reading, but I just like can never get through them. I like read a little bit, I put it down, and it just disappears and slides under my bed. I don't know where it goes.
You know, I have the same problem, Kyra. Same problem. Like I bought.
That makes me feel better.
No, I seriously like I bought How to Get Good with Money with like it's like a really like, you know, whatever. It's like a black. I can't even think of the fucking name of the author right now because I'm like high as fuck. But
at least you have that excuse.
I literally was like, what is it's right over there too. I'm like, oh my God. She's the Budgetnista. Boom. There you go.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
I brought her book and it's called How to Get Good with Money, but like literally I have the same fucking problem. I have so many books that I've like picked up, started to read, and then just fucking put them like never fucking touch them again.
I can't tell you the last time I finished a book. So I can't even imagine and try to write one. But I do feel like that also, the quote also applies to film and TV. Like if there's a television show or there's a movie that you want to see in the world that no one is making, then you should make it yourself. I will say though, because a lot of people, I can't tell you, millions of people are like, I got an idea for a movie and I'm going to write it, but they don't actually, back to manifesting, they don't actually learn the craft. They're like, I could just sit down and write this and it's going to get an Oscar. It will not. Screenwriting is extremely hard. You are more likely to be recruited into Major League Baseball than you are to get into the Writers Guild of America.
Damn.
Yes. And
That's
even
crazy.
within that, the people who are in the WGA, only 50% of them are working at a given time.
That's craziness.
So it's hard. It's hard. So really, if it's something you're serious about, then take your time, learn the craft. There's a lot of really amazing places to take classes here in Chicago. Chicago Dramatists, Second City, and you can take online classes at like Sundance Collab. Like there's books. You ain't got no excuse not to learn how to do the shit. So yes, write the movie that you want to see in the world, but try to make it good. Do your best.
Do your best. Just be a good person, please. Don't create shit. We don't need more crap out there in the guy.
There's so much crap. There's so much, and a lot of it is made by people who like didn't take the time to actually respect the art form. So.
Well, thank you so much, Kyra. I've truly enjoyed like talking to you, catching up with you. It's been so great to see your face again. And I will be reaching out to you to gift you some goodies. So I'm gonna reach out to you soon for that.
So excited.
But again, guys, you guys can all the links and all the everything that we were mentioning today will be in the show notes. So you guys can always find that there. And please follow Kyra on all her social media platforms and check out Queens, right? So she can stay staffed on the show.
I would love to stay employed. And I also love the show. It's a really good show. We have 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like I'm not like hyping the show up correct. It's fucking good ass show. And it's Brandy and Eve.
True. I have to catch up. I'm gonna go my ass on Hulu because I can't watch live TV because you're right. I don't have an antenna.
No one does. And it's okay.
Right. But again, I appreciate you on the show again. Thank you so much. And as always, guys, we'll catch you next week. Say bye, Kyra.
Bye, Kyra.
Kimbo out.
Brought to you by the Rick Dog Network. Well, shoot the damn dog.